In this next section, we will show you how to fill both the groundwater simulator and the Rainmaker accessory, which is available separately, with water to prepare them for a demonstration. You would typically do this before you got in front of a group for a presentation. The first thing to check is to make sure that the valves or the plugs are in place, depending on what item you're talking about. With the simulator, it's important that the outside drain valve is in a closed position, which it is right here. On the Rainmaker, you will see rubber stoppers. They go into a hole right here and a hole back here. Since this unit is not on top of the simulator at this time, those plugs must be in place. Otherwise, water will drain out of the simulator. With those plugs in place, this unit can operate as a sole unit by itself. The other thing to make sure is that in the case of this pump, it's turned off, and the aquarium pump on the top of the simulator is not plugged in. Otherwise, it will burn out. Other valves that you should look at are the inside valves. There's one here, one here. There's also an aquifer drain valve. When we're filling the model, we'll actually open that valve. And this valve turner works nicely for that. You'll see a little water escape from a previous demonstration. We'll take a bucket, filling the model up to the water level sticker that you see on the You'll see that water has begun to enter into the front compartment. It's also entering through that valve inside. Note the water level marker. Note that on the Rainmaker, there's also a water level marker. This is often easier to do with a smaller container. First, we'll fill up the aquarium pump so it flows out. We'll plug that unit in, give it a few minutes to prime, and get flowing while we fill up the Rainmaker. And remember, you want to do this prior to going in front of a group. With the Rainmaker, we'll pour water into the back until it fills up to that water level. Just a little bit more there. And then we will place that pump into the back of the unit, making sure that it sits flat on the bottom because it's very shallow water there. You'll note a small switch that you can turn on. The water will then go up into the Rainmaker unit, and that unit is now operating. As these pumps get going, you want to make sure that you check that water level again to see if any additional water needs added. It's important with this aquarium pump to make sure that this pipe right here is sitting down into the unit to get the best suction. Make sure the dip tube is down into the water. And once it gets primed, it will actually discharge water out here onto a platform. There's a small notch here into the front compartment. Water will flow, recharge the model at this point, and as we'll show in the next section, it will then flow through the model and discharge out of this river valve. And this pump is just about ready now. And this is why it's a good idea to do this before you get in front of a group, because sometimes it takes a little longer than expected to prime that pump. Also note that there's a small plastic, as we're waiting, a small plastic piece here that covers a notch. During normal operations, this piece fits on here, covers that notch, and pushes up against the discharge point of the aquarium pump. The pump itself, and you can see it's just starting to prime, to control the amount of recharge can simply be moved off of the platform for a drought condition, or fully onto the platform for essentially a flooding condition. typically you'll operate it about half onto the platform, a quarter to a half, and the rest of it discharging into the back. Once that pump primes, you'll want to close the aquifer valve so that all discharge is coming out of this river valve into the back reservoir tank. You're drawing it by the pump and recharging the model. Again, quickly check your water level markers. Both levels, they're good. In the Rainmaker, we should point out that this red clamp right here controls the amount of flow. Much like moving the pump here, this red clamp controls the amount of flow into the Rainmaker, so you can control how much visually there is rain-wise.